Welcome to Lauren Reed Color. It is completed pages time, yay! And in today's video, I will be showcasing the pages that I completed in July, as well as the whips that I have been chipping away at, and also my planned pages for August. So without further ado, let's get going. As always, let's start off with some stats for the month. Let me just get to the correct page. One moment. Here we go. So I completed 2 buddies. One of them was an individual buddy and the other was a group buddy. I colored 7 pages, of which none of them were doubles. I colored in 7 books, but didn't color any untouched books, which is a bit disappointing. I participated in 16 prompts, was inspired by 1 tutorial. I started out the month with 5 whips and now I have 36, and that is thanks to my personal challenge of coloring for 31 minutes over 31 days in 31 pages. So now I have tons and tons of whips that I will be coloring for the rest of my life. I have 113 books in my collection, of which 7 are new, which means that I have destashed 5 books, and all of those books are books that I had planned to destash at the beginning of the year if I didn't color in them, and slowly I've realized that I have no intention of coloring in them, so I have donated them to a happier home. Okay, so I also have some new followers on Instagram. Thank you to everyone who has followed. I hope that you enjoy the content. I have some new subscribers on YouTube, and I'm really psyched about that because I love the fact that the channel is doing so well. I also marked down my engagement rate and my views, my watch time, and my uploads, but I just track those for my own personal interest. I like tracking things. Yeah, anyway, so those are all of the stats for the month of July, and now we're going to move on to the completed pages. Staying with my coloring planner, my first page is the page that I colored here for July, and it is this little vignette by Pop, which I have called Houseplant, and this is the palette that I used for it from Sarah Renee Clark's color cubes. I basically just put this into a random number generator, and this is the page that got selected, and I really like it. It's different from the usual palettes that I pick. My usual palettes have purple and blue in them. So it was really interesting to color a palette that is not usually one that I would gravitate towards. So I colored this using Castle Arts pencils, and I'm really pleased with the end of the result. It looks really different from all of the ones that I've done previously. Let me show you one that was done previously, and that one. So yeah, as you can see, very different from my usual palettes. Okay, so that is the first page that I completed in my coloring planner. As promised in the week 4 update for my personal challenge of coloring for 31 minutes over 31 days, I'm going to show you the 3 final pages for the month that I have not yet shown, but I also thought I would flip through and show you all of the whips that I began over the month in Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford. So if you were following along with that challenge, you know that I chose pages at random, I chose palettes at random, I chose coloring pencil sets at random, and then just colored for 31 minutes. So this is the first page that I colored. I'm showing you in the order of the book, not really the order of the randomly selected pages. If you're interested in seeing everything in a little bit more detail, there are videos up on the channel for everything. So this one I colored so far with Neocolor 2s. The paper in this book does not like water mediums at all, but I have found a couple of workarounds. These 2 didn't get started. I started this one with Castle Arts pencils. I started this one. I have a protective sheet on this one because it is not activated. These are Faber-Castell Art Grip Aquarelle pencils, unactivated, and I don't want anything transferring onto the other page. So I have this protective sheet of baking paper. I find that that's very good for protecting your pages. Then I started this one as well. This one is Polychromos. I may or may not remember all the sets. I started this key page. I got all of the key pages in the random selections and all of the wallpaper pages. So yeah, wallpaper page. I started this one. So I've sort of decided that I'm going to be continuing this series on the channel after a few people requested it. This one was polychromos. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, I think, 2 pages a month to work on throughout the month. And then at the end of the month, I will see how far I've gotten. I did this one. Let's see, this one is Neocolor 2s, and I think it is Color Soft pencils. Yes. Then I did this one as well. I started doing the fish tanks. Another wallpaper page. This is the page that I realized that this book does not like water mediums. So I started with Neocolor 2s, I activated, and of course I got bleed through. So I will not be doing that anymore. I will be using other techniques for water mediums that I have learned during the month to try and overcome that issue. I started the beehive page. This is my favorite page in the book. I'm really looking forward to working on it. I think this might be one of the pages that I work with. I'm thinking, yeah, let's go back to the beginning for a second. I'm definitely going to finish this one this month. Yes, so this is one of the pages that I have planned for August, and I might continue this one because I love it so much. Another option is to, get a random picker to pick the random pages again. Okay, so here is another one that I worked on. This was Castle Arts. This one was Color Soft. I'm not sure I like this, but yeah, a lot of the times, it starts out in a way that you don't necessarily like, but as you continue to color, it starts to grow on you. Hold on. This one is another one I started working on. This one is Prismacolors. Let's see what else. Oh, here's the other key. Here I got both the key and the lock, and the palettes that I had for these two were complementary. So I'm going to continue with those 2 palettes and combine them on the 2 pages. Then I got this page as well. This one is Castle Arts. If I remember correctly, these 2 are Prismacolor. No, this one is Prismacolor, this one is Polychromos. I remember some, but not others. This one is a page where I needed to come up with a technique to use with water, but without getting any bleed through. And I have found that if you put down watercolor pencil and then activate it very, very lightly with small amounts of water, then it won't bleed through. Okay, and I think it has to be light shades of watercolor pencil. It can't be like a dark blue or an intense red because those are going to bleed through. Yeah, I started this one. I added in the shelves and started coloring the desserts. I started this one. This one I think is Polychromos pencils. Might be Prismacolor, I can't remember. Okay, these 2 did not get chosen. Now we have a whole bunch that didn't get chosen. Here, the next key page, the steampunk key. Yes, this is also going to be a really quick page to color. I might work on that one too. I might work on more than 2. We will see. Then there's this one. So this one I thought was really interesting. So at first, I asked my roommate what she thought this was. And she said that she thought it was an ice cream sundae. So you got the ice cream at the top. And then I looked at it and I said, it looks like a butterfly, eyes, wings. And so we decided to call it the Antique Rorschach Test, which I think is really cute. And we started this one as well, the kitchen. This one is Prismacolors. And then the Halloween items or the mystical objects. This one is Polychromos. The owl post page, the post and the packages. Okay, then we have tea for 2 in this little conservatory, or there's another word for a building that has lots of plants in it, an arbor. And then we have this desk, which is an escritoire. That's what it's called. I went and I looked it up. This is one of the 3 pages that I didn't show in the weekly updates. So it's with Prismacolors, and I decided to go for mahogany colored wood. Then we have that one. The jars I added in the background. And then the final ones, one second, are these two. Okay, so on this side we have the telephone. So I was watching Karen from My Colorful Country Life. She was talking about how she did hers, and she added in the trees and a path and in the front of the telephone. And I have decided to do the same thing. So I've added in the trees, but hers are like a summary or a spring page, and mine is going to be autumn because the palette that I got was lots of oranges. And then on this side, I have started coloring the bathroom in the flower pot page. Yeah, so those are all the pages in Rooms of Wonder that I colored or began to color in the month of July. My next WIP is in Daydreams by Hannah Carlson. I was actually planning on finishing this page in July, but I got sidetracked by other things. I wasn't feeling very motivated after a while, so it is still a WIP, but I'm hoping that I will make progress on it in August. And the page that I'm working on is the Wild Rose Garden. So in this book, all of the backgrounds are going to be blue. So obviously I went for a blue background, and I colored the background using luminous pencils, and I have started to shade the roses using Art Grip Aquarelle watercolor pencils and then activated with water. So on this paper in this book, for some reason, it doesn't matter what happens, but with watercolors, if you put watercolor anywhere, the edges of the pages get bleed through, not the middle. The middle doesn't get any bleed through, but the edges for some reason do. So that's happened with all of my pages whenever I have used watercolor. So what I'm going to be doing is using different techniques to either cover over the bleed through that you get, or using pencils in the edges so that I don't get bleed through. So here I used pencils in the background and I didn't get bleed through, so this page should be okay, because for this page I will still have a blue background, but I also want to use autumnal colors for the main image. So I don't really want to have any bleed through around the edges if possible. Anyway, I digress. So this is my WIP in Daydreams by Hannah Carlson. My next WIP is in So Many Cozy Animals by Kimma Parrish, and the page that I'm working on is the teacups with the teapot and the strawberries. So this was a page that I started working on to test the paper, and I am now continuing it. I think I'm just going to color this page whenever the mood strikes me. It's not something that I'm actually planning to finish in August. If I do, that's great, and if I don't, it will just carry on into future months. But yeah, I'm enjoying this, and I'm going to be using polychromos pencils on this paper. Yes. Okay, so that's So Many Cozy Animals by Kimma Parrish. The next WIP is one that I began on the spur of the moment. It is in Color Me Capybaras by Ella Yarzabek. I'm in a group on Instagram, and the page that was chosen is the beach day page with this cute little capybara sunning herself. I hope that she is wearing sunscreen. Anyway, I have based this page with alcohol markers, and now I am busy shading. I actually don't think there's that much left to do. I've got the sky, the sea, the capybara herself, and some of these little elements. Everything else is done, so I don't think it will take very long to finish this page, and it will definitely be done in August. So that is my capybara at the beach. My last WIP is in Luna by Maria Trolle. This is the page we are working on for the Saturday Snippets feature on the channel. If you are new to the channel, every Saturday I have a color and chat video where I share what I've been working on that week. I chat about all sorts of different things that I see around the internet and in my neighborhood, and we color on a page. So we have started. We have actually started. We have started Cat in Columbine's page, and so far we are working on the background, and I want to replicate a background that I did in Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes. So you can check that out if you're interested, and yeah, we will be continuing all of that on the Saturday Snippets feature. Okay, so now that I've shown you all of my whips, let me show you the pages that I actually completed. My next completed page is in Luna by Lydia Fenwick, and it is this one, which I am calling the Shepherdess. So this was a buddy color with Anya from Atoma Vanta and with Lisa from My Coloring Nook. And let me just put their pages up on the screen so you can see how lovely they are. I really love the way these two pages are different and yet the same. So Anya's version has the white fluffy sheep and the really colorful background, which is quite similar to mine. I think we inspired each other. And then you have Lisa's little bit more muted palette, but I love what she did with her bushes, putting in the, the white acrylic leaves. I think it really makes the page very special and unique. And I love her brown sheep. They are so cute. As far as I remember, I think Anya used alcohol markers. In fact, I think they both used alcohol markers on their pages. They didn't mind sacrificing the image on the other side, but I love this little monkey. So I have used materials that didn't bleed through the page. Yeah, so thank you so much, Anya and Lisa, for coloring with me in this fabulous book, which is one of my favorites. And anytime you want to do it again, just let me know. So this is my version. And what I have here is... let me see, what did I do? In the background, it's Neocolor 2s, okay? And then it's shaded a little bit with Castle Arts pencil, and then it is white acrylic going over the cloudy elements. The sheep is based with Derwent Graphitant, okay? Then it is shaded with Castle Arts pencils. Then I put in the white acrylic marker, and then I took a Langual gel pen, dabbed it into certain places, and took a wet water brush and just, activated it. This is a technique that I learned from Shel at Shel's Coloring Journey, and that was really a fun technique to do, and I'm going to be doing it more often. Then I based the girl with, not her skin, I based her shirt and her jeans with Faber-Castell Art Grip Aquarelle watercolor and shaded with Castle Arts. The girl's skin is Prismacolor and her hair is Pro Color, but it's underneath it is a base of watercolor pencil. I'm slowly but surely improving my darker skin tones. I think I did a pretty good job here, but there's still work to be done. And then I used my own doing grass technique. Up on the channel there is a video on how I color grass, so you can see how I did that as well. I actually love this page. I think it came out beautifully. I love my background, and I'm definitely going to be doing this kind of background again in the future. So yeah, that is my page in Luna by Lydia Fenwick. Next is my page in Mythographic Wild Summer by Joseph Katzenbang. This is actually a page that I began in June and finished in July, and it is the Hippos at Play page. So I colored this for the Wild Year of Color 2026 hashtag hosted by Jamie at Finding Joy in Color, because June's prompt was a hippo. So I needed a hippo page, and this is the one that I colored. I enjoyed coloring this one a lot. I colored it using alcohol markers as a base and then Castle Arts pencils for shading. For the water, I tried the Artex liquid acrylic markers and then put white acrylic pen on top to create the water. This is a technique that I need to still work on. I think I could have gotten it a bit more smooth. So yeah, still need some work to do with that. And then for the bushes, I did a technique that I learned from Olivier Colors, and basically it is to color in the bushes with pencils, then take acrylic markers, dab it down, smush it with a Q-tip, and then put little dots and flowers and so on onto the bushes, and you get this really full bushy look, which I really like. It's a very similar technique on the moss. So I enjoyed coloring this one very much, and I love the way that it came out. So that is my page in Wild Summer by Joseph Katzenbang. Next is Creative Haven by the Sea by George Tufexis. This one I colored for my monthly hashtag, Creative Haven 2026, where I am trying to put a dent in my Creative Haven books. I'm doing okay. There are a couple of months where I have started the pages and haven't finished them, and other months where I have managed to finish. So for this one, which is a color by number book, the page that I completed is actually one that was a long-term whip. And it is this Little Lizard's Adventures, because I love the little lizard, and so the page is named after him. And I'm coloring in this book using Castle Arts pencils. So if you're interested, also up on the channel there is a video where I explain all the techniques that I use when I am doing my color by numbers, because even though the color by numbers doesn't necessarily call for it, I do like to do my own shading. So as you can see, I use the shading indicated by the numbers themselves, but I also add my own shading. And this is the page. I think it came out beautifully, and I've actually chosen another one that I want to work on. I work in this book whenever it, strikes my fancy. So the next page that I've chosen to work on is this one. It is the first page in the book where I will be coloring a human being. So that will be interesting. Yeah, but it's not necessarily going to be in August. It is just whenever I feel like it. Yeah, so that is my page in By the Sea by George Tufexis. The next page is in Mythographic Dragonspell by Joseph Katzenbang. I am in a group on Instagram where we are coloring one page per month in this book, and it is slowly but surely filling up. The page for June was the Dragon Catcher page, and whenever I look at this page and I see this huge dragon and the little boy with his tiny net, I think of that line from Jaws and think to myself, yes, we're going to need a bigger net. Anyway, this page was both a disaster and a success. So I started out by putting down some granulating watercolor in the background, but because I didn't use enough water, it didn't really granulate. So I went over with Castle Arts pencils. Then I based everything else with Faber-Castell Art Grip Aquarelle watercolor pencils, and then it was looking really good. So I did the trees, which are Castle Arts pencils, and then some acrylic marker for adding in some highlights. And then I started to shade the tree canopy. And this is when the problems started. So it started out pink, and then it clashed with the flowers, and everything I did to it just did not work. I added pencil, I added marker, I added Langwell acrylic, Langwell pen and activated it with water, and it was not working out. So I decided, it's already ruined. Let me see if I can experiment a little. So that's what I did. I took the Artex acrylic markers, I put down a base of this really light purple, I let it dry, and then I drew in some of the shapes for the trees, and I shaded with Castle Arts pencils, and I actually think it looks really good. I'm very happy with my tree canopy. And then I started to shade the dragon. It was supposed to be an orangey bluish dragon, but then it started coming out copper, and I really liked it, so I went with copper. And then I decided to make the transparent wings, so I drew in branches for the tree and colored in the background with purple and green, and went over with acrylic marker to make it look transparent. So yeah, I really enjoyed coloring this. It was an interesting way to prove to myself once again that all mistakes can be fixed in some way. So yeah, it's all it takes is patience and perseverance, and watching YouTube channels and getting advice from other people. Okay, so yeah, that is my page in Dragonspell, and I also colored this one for the Wild Year of Color. Prompt for July was an axolotl. My page for an axolotl didn't really materialize, so I decided that this dragon looks like an axolotl, and I am counting it as an axolotl. So yeah. Anyway, that's my page in Dragonspell by Joseph Katzenbang. Next is Romantic Country by Erie, and the page that we were working on for the past few Saturdays in the Saturday Snippet feature is the Sleepy Time page, which is this one. So if you were following along, then you know what it looks like. And if not, this is how it came out, and I am so happy with it. It started out as a bit of a disaster. I used Faber-Castell gelatos, and I really didn't like what I had. So then I went over with my own do-it-yourself distress ink technique, where I mixed some gouache paint with some glycerin and then went over. And actually, I love the end result because the gelatos created sort of a marbling texture underneath the gouache, which I think is actually really beautiful. And then everything else is colored with Prismacolor pencils. Some elements do have a base layer of Inktense as well. Yeah, I love our color scheme. I really enjoyed coloring this and doing it on the Saturday snippets, and I hope that those of you who watched it enjoyed it as well. As I said earlier, we are now working in the Maria Trolle page in Luna. Okay, so that is my page in Romantic Country. Last but not least is another spur-of-the-moment page that I did, and this time it's in Mythographic Wild Winter by Joseph Katzenbang. And I was going to color a page in Kirby Roseanne's Worlds Within Worlds that had a lantern for Joe at Geordie Colors Color the Fairy Tales hashtag, where the prompt for July was Aladdin, and one of the possibilities was to color a lamp of some kind. But I lost motivation for that page and went through my books and found this one instead. And the page that I colored is the giraffes. So I called it Winter's Glow, although the book itself gives names to these pages, and officially it is called Heights. But I called it Winter's Glow because it's in Wild Winter and it's got lanterns. So that's made sense to me. Anyway, I really enjoyed coloring this. This was a lot of fun. Although I did struggle with the background, I used polychromos pencils only on the background, and my hand really hurt by the time that was over. But other than that, it was a really lovely, relaxing page to do. I used Prismacolor pencils for the glow on the lanterns, but everything else is polychromos. So it's polychromos, as I said, for the background, for the armillaries, that's what these spheres are called, for the giraffe and the staircase. And I love the glow that I got around all my lanterns, and a pleasure to color this one. So yeah, that was my last page that I colored in the month of July. And now I'm going to move on to showing you some of the pages that I plan to color in August. For August, I don't actually have that many planned pages because I really enjoyed doing the spur-of-the-moment coloring that I did in July, and I actually think that I want to continue with that. Nevertheless, I do have some planned pages for different prompts, and I'm also, of course, beginning with my page in my coloring planner, which is this little page from A Go to Pop. I have gotten these off Etsy. I printed them out on sticker paper and stuck them in my planner, and I colored them using Castle Arts pencils, and this one I am calling Summer Homes. So that is what I'm going to do with this page. I think I might also, like I did in July, pick a random palette from Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cubes and use it for this as well. We will see. Okay, so that's that one. The next planned page is in Mythographic Dragonspell by Joseph Katzenbang for the Dragonspell group, and the page chosen for August is the Once Upon a Dragon page. So I do have sort of an image in mind about what I want to do with this page. I want it to be in shades of purples and blues and beiges. So I do have an inspiration image from Pinterest that I am planning to use. This is it. And I still have to work out exactly how I am going to apply these colors to the page. I think I will put the image into Adobe Color and ask it to create a palette for me from that image. And then I might put it into the palette kit website developed by Karen at My Colorful Country Life and see what gradients that it suggests for me. Yeah, so that is my plan for this page, probably using alcohol markers and Castle Arts pencils because that combination is working well for me in this book. So that's my plan for Dragonspell. Another planned page is in Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosannes. So the Mythomorphia group on Instagram is taking August off, and we're going to be doing August as a catch-up month for those people who haven't finished previous pages from previous months. And there are a couple of pages that I didn't manage to get to that the group did, and I have decided to do one of them in August. One of them was the werewolf page, but I think that is more of an October page. So I went for the mer people pages, which were chosen in May and I didn't get to. I doubt that I will be able to finish both, so I am definitely going to start with the merman page. I think that it is a really gorgeous page, and I don't actually think that it requires that much work. If I do a complete watercolor background and then just do shading on everything else, it should come out beautifully with relatively little effort. So that is my plan for it. Whether or not it actually works out is something else. We all have great plans and then they don't materialize. But that is what I want to do for Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosannes. As I said earlier, I'm going to continue working in Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford, which is the book that I did for my 31 in 31 challenge. I have decided, however, that I'm not going to be continuing to color for 31 minutes every day on different pages. I don't want to get burned out on the book, and instead I'm going to choose a couple of pages in the book to work on throughout the month. The first one that I am definitely going to be working on is going to be the Keys to Wonder page, which is the copyright page. And I'm going to continue using the palette that was randomly selected for the 31 in 31 challenge, which is this one. As you can see, I've used these colors on this key, and I'm going to either use the blues on this key or perhaps the red on this key. But I'm leaning towards the blues, okay? And then the reds will be the flower in the middle. And I'm thinking I'm also going to put some sort of frame around it and color it inside. I'm not sure yet what exactly I'm going to do with that. We will see. But that is my plan for this page. And of course, I will also choose a couple of others. I'm not yet decided which other ones I will do. I might let a random generator choose for me. So that is in Rooms of Wonder. Then I have my planned page for my Creative Haven 2026 hashtag. For August, the book that I'm going to be coloring in is Main Street by Teresa Goodridge. And the page that I've chosen is the Dream Destinations page, because don't we all just want to pack up and fly somewhere? So I think this is perfect for the month of August, for the summertime, going on vacations. And I'm looking forward to coloring this one. I might base it with alcohol marker and then shade with Castle Arts pencils, because I think that would look really nice in this book. So that is my page for that hashtag. Last but not least is a page in Animaux de la Forêt by Caroline Allen, and I have chosen this page for two different hashtags. The first one is the Wild Year of Color by Jamie at Finding Joy in Color, and the second is the Color the Fairy Tales by Joe at Geordie Colors. The Wild Year of Color prompt is a chipmunk, and the fairy tale for Color the Fairy Tales is Sleeping Beauty, and one of the prompts is a rose. So I found a page that combines both, and it is this one with the chipmunks in the roses. I think that one's a lotus flower, but these two are roses, these two are chipmunks, and I can't wait to color this. I think it is absolutely adorable. I may or may not put in a background. We will see. So yeah, that is my page in Animaux de la Forêt by Caroline Allen, and all of the pages that I plan for August. So thank you everybody. If you have stuck through all of that for this entire video, I appreciate it, and I hope to see you all again soon.